very good friend. But my phone doesn't seem to be working. I have been having some technical difficulties, but let's see if I can make it happen. Who could it be? Looks like he's worked out how to do it.
The big bad Buzz.
Marine!
There he is.
How are you doing there, good sir?
I must put my camera. I'm in my mum's room, mate. I'm in my mum's car.
So my first question, nothing's changed then. The humour is still...
Yeah, it's still rife. How are you, mate?
Good. I've got to apologise first. I'm 35 minutes late.
You've been teaching, have you?
Been teaching, and then I had a video I had to do. I've forgotten to do that.
Mate.
It's been strange times, hasn't it? You get used to not doing anything.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, mate. Every day is like a weekend. You've got to keep busy.
Yeah. But no, it's...
So have you been teaching like online or?
So in Southwest Florida, we've been pretty lucky, actually. My club only closed for a few days.
Oh, right.
So
mate, how good's that?
We've been having, obviously, the procedures and stuff have changed loads. But
yeah,
actually, I was quite fortunate. You know, I've had to do a few things, been working carts and doing a few jobs I don't usually do. But
sure.
Yeah, I've been able to coach a bit. So
cool, mate. It's been how long's it been since I last saw you? 5 years? 4 years?
I reckon
it was last year at university. So
it would have been. It was before I headed off to Bangkok.
Yeah, it was, because I was going to come see you in Bangkok, but we just missed each other, didn't we?
Yeah.
Mate, that would have produced a few stories.
It would have suited you down to the ground. If anyone was ever designed for you, Marine, it would be Bangkok.
Yeah, so mate, lots happened since then. A lot's happened.
I've actually, so although we haven't physically been together, I've been following you, and you've progressed really nicely since you've left uni. You've had a couple of really interesting experiences. Work-wise.
I have, mate. It's been, so we'll take it back, shall we?
Yeah, go on. Let's start at the beginning.
So, to be honest, when I finished university, mate, it was a big shock to the system, massively, because you become used to this sort of false world where you're living with your mates, you're going out partying 4 times a week, you're drinking, you know, and then all of a sudden, like that, you've finished and you're back home living with your parents. Mm-hmm. It was so strange. So it was a big shock to the system, and I didn't take it well, to be honest.
No.
Because you know what I'm like. I love being around people and being a bit of a joker.
If you haven't met Marine, imagine having a puppy and then feeding it Skittles, and then you're pretty much there.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to put it. So what I did, mate, is I played golf for a year. Had some quite good success. Won a club championship, won a men's open, couple of seconds in men's open. Sort of got approached to play for the county again.
Oh, good.
But I kind of had a sort of a realization point where, you know, you look and you think, where's this going to take me? You know, you can't, you know, I got to scratch, and you've got to be realistic at that point. You know, I'm 20, what was I, 22? By that point, you've got to be off like +2, +3 at least, you know, to make a living of it. So out of the blue, I got a job as a chef to just support myself.
Yeah.
And I worked as a chef for 8 months. And I loved it, believe it or not, mate. It was a good friend of mine. He's a head chef at like a Spanish tapas restaurant.
Okay.
So I worked with him and I loved it, mate. Just the buzz of the service was great. And so about 8 months later, a guy from uni, Hugh Consett, got in touch.
Yeah.
He said he's going travelling. And at that point, I didn't really I was a bit lost. I didn't really know what I was doing. So I jumped on it and I went with him and Tom Hilliard. And we were away together for probably just under a year, I'd say. New Zealand, Australia. And then I met my missus in Australia. And then we left them and we went off traveling Vietnam, Bali, Malaysia.
So I thought it was bros before hoes, and it actually turns out it's
That's it, mate. Well, what would you rather, Hugh or do you know what I mean? But no, we're still good pals. We speak a lot. It was good, but it's intense traveling, especially with your friends for like a year. You know, you're sharing the same rooms, same kitchens, doing everything together every day. So I ended up being gone around 2 years by the end of it, or just under.
And then a long time. 2 years.
Yeah, it was probably about a year and a half, or just over a year and a half, I reckon. So I was back 2 months, and sort of reached out to the local golf brands, which are actually Taylormade and Shrixon, were very close to me. And I landed a job at Shrixon within sort of 2-3 months of being back as a club builder. Obviously having, you know, no knowledge on club building at all at that point. And I worked with them for a year, just researching it myself outside of the work, and sooner or later I got a job on the tour with Shrixon. So that was last year. So I did a season with them, did all the UK events, did a couple of events out in Germany, did a lot of retail events, tour experience days, that sort of thing. And a job came up at Taylormade in January. So I thought, you know, I'd be a fool not to go for it. And here I am now. Been with them since January. I've been out to Dubai and Oman.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, now I'm sat at home, mate. So that's kind of a long story short of my last 4 years.
So now you're back in your mum's bedroom.
Yeah, that's it.
I was going to say where it all started, but that would probably not be.
No, I think they live somewhere else then, mate.
So I wasn't aware. So obviously I knew you were working on the tour truck.
Yeah,
that was one of my questions, because that's such a cool job. And
yeah, it is, mate. Very lucky.
Being involved with golf, if it's your passion, it's something that you really want to do.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, like if you decide to like pursue playing, and it can actually, instead of being like the dream life, it becomes an absolute burden to the point. Sure. And I have seen it happen with other friends where they stop playing, you know, so you take your passion and you actually literally fizzle out the flame. So what you've done is such a cool way of being able to stay involved with golf. Doesn't sound like, you know, like obviously I was in a very similar situation to you, you know, did a sports science degree. The year I finished, I had a year where I worked in the shop. I wasn't a pro. I was doing my masters, but I was getting so fed up with golf. Yeah. You know, because you kind of feel like you've completed it, and you want like the next stage. And the tour sounds great, but it ain't because the thing is with playing tour golf as well, it's not about working your ass off to get to the tour. You've actually got to then be able to make money on the tour. I think people forget
100%. I think like, people.
I'll be honest with my golf. Like, if I'd worked, like let's say I'd have had to not done a degree, not done my masters, not done the PGA. Let's say I wanted to be a tour pro. I deep down, I think I could have played Euro Pro. Deep down, I think I could have maybe, if all the stars aligned, gone to Q school and done it. But I would never. I don't have the game to do it week in, week out, 4-day tournaments. It's just not. So I would have been miserable.
Well, that's the thing, mate. At the end of the day, you've gone from playing golf as something you enjoy and a hobby to then all of a sudden it's your job, and you're relying on that to pay the bills, feed yourself, And them results aren't coming, then it could be a worst nightmare, and it's something you've gone from loving to hating. So
no, for sure. But I love what you've done, but so you literally just contacted them, and you were working in the factory.
Yeah,
is that what was happening?
I'm so lucky to be where I am. I've only been in the golf industry for like 2 years, mate, 2.5 years. I know people that they work for 10 years and they still can't get a job on tour, So I've been very fortunate, but I've worked my ass off, I've really, in them 2 years, I've worked really hard. I've done stuff in my own time, researched it off my own back. But yeah, I came back and I just fired across some emails to Taylormade and Strixon's HR teams. I pestered them, mate, for months. I was ringing them every day for months, saying, "Is there any jobs available?" At that point, mate, I didn't even consider club building. I was asking if I could do some HR work or some marketing work or anything, just to be involved. And I really was willing to just start at the bottom, just to work my way up somehow, And they said, "Look, the club building role's available." And I said, "Yeah, let's give it a shot." And it's something I really enjoy. And I've been fortunate enough to get where I am now, mate.
Sorry, man, my phone's running out, so it's not that I'm not interested in what you're saying. I'm just trying to get some power.
Prepared well, mate.
I've had a nightmare this morning. I'm not gonna lie. But
so where are you now? You at home?
No, so this is my indoor studio where I am. I'll give you a little. So
tour, you head or?
So we got the putt lab here. The old K motion over there.
What's the putt? Is it Quintic or?
That's the putt.
What's the putting?
Yes.
Right.
Lab.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
nice.
It's cool. And like with you, and like I remember like being a coach when I was coaching the uni, and like we used to get on really well. I know you used to help me out with the YouTube videos and stuff.
Really good, yeah.
But like, what I appreciated about you is, you do talk a lot of rubbish.
Yeah.
A lot of rubbish, but you work hard. And I can remember, so you were captain for the third team.
Third team, yeah.
So, and you literally, because the way that the structures work, like the performance teams were basically, so the ones that I was kind of really running was the first and second team. And then the third, fourth and fifth were far more run by, the students rather than necessarily the performance team. And you just like pulled that team together. You worked hard, created a good culture in that team, and the team ended up winning the cup and winning the league. But what I was impressed with was you then left, and in the summer just worked your ass off and came back, and then you were a first team player.
Yeah. I remember that season I had off. I just entered everything. I worked real hard at my game. And I think I won a club championships and a men's open that year. And then I came back, and all of a sudden I was in the first team and in the high performance squad, getting, coaching by yourself and work and stuff like that. So
and it was, you had minimal time with me before, but you just worked hard, and it surprised me with some of the other kids that like really didn't. You would get. I remember we went to. I won't mention his name, but I remember we went up to St Andrews. We're playing in the first event after we got UK #1 status. And I'm like watching him in the practice rounds, and I'm like, "What on earth are you doing? Like, it's clear you haven't played for like 4 months."
That was what course was that, mate? Because that was extremely hard, wasn't it? Was it Duke's?
That was the Duke's course. We did film a video. We filmed 3 holes.
Yeah, we did. Because I remember I birdied the last, I believe, to get into the playoff to make the cut.
Yeah, that was of all the experiences I've watched golf, that was a fun
Yeah,
playoff.
mate, that was
Basically,
10th, wasn't it?
yeah, and basically, so the
10
guy
man
that
playoff.
won Sterling is Dean Robinson, who used to be a tour player, and he was running the
Right.
tournament. It was the Sterling Invitational, and he had
Yeah.
decided, and it wasn't because there wasn't tee times available. It was literally
Yeah.
he did it because he thought it would be interesting to put the players through some pain.
Yeah.
So I can't
Yeah.
remember how many of you there were, but there were like,
Mate, there was like 8 or 10 of us in a
yeah.
in a playoff. There was 3 of our boys. There was a few from Stirling, St Andrews, and that was tense, mate, because everybody that played that day, there was like 60 people, was just walking the fairway with us.
Yeah. It was that was a cool, and I can't remember the Sterling player. He tried to hit like a low squeezy cut with driver and hit this high bullet hook that was like 300 yards offline. It was literally going wider than it was going forwards.
I remember the first was a par 5, and I think like seven of us made par or better, and then like 3 guys made bogey, so they were out.
Yeah.
And the second hole I remember was like a dog leg right, really tight, par 4, quite long, and I sliced it right into the trees. And I can't remember who was caddying for me, but we said, look, just chip out and let's make our chances of getting up and down. And I remember wedging it to like 15 foot, and I had to hold this 15-foot putt to make the cut. And I remember rolling it in, and it was with the 2-ball that I painted in pink.
You painted it in pink.
You remember?
And now I had luckily forgotten about it, but now that you've mentioned it,
Well, I often, when I get bored, mate, I watch our videos back online. So your views are still ticking over on them ones. But yeah, so mate, it just shows, you know, you can be talented and be lazy, and you won't get far. But if you work hard, the results do come, you know.
Yeah. And I think I like that you said like you pestered them. I think it's so easy, and especially like take me for example. You know, I've got a master's degree. I've got TPI level 3. I've got all of these qualifications. It's easy to feel like self-entitled and go, well, it's all owed to me, and no one cares.
Yeah.
You know,
no
one cares who you are. You got to like go out and you know make it happen.
You have, mate. You've got to look after yourself, and you only get what you put in, you know.
Yeah.
So that was like my degree. I went into that degree, the sports science degree, with a BTEC in golf studies, you know, and everybody else in that degree had A levels in science, biology, biomechanics, all of this. And I went in first lecture of the week, and I came out almost in tears, mate. So, you know, despite all that messing around partying we did, behind the scenes I was working pretty damn hard, and I managed to just scrape my 2-1, which I was so chuffed with. So yeah, it's just one of those things, really, mate. But
and then what's it like being in the tour track? What would you say the normal week is?
Oh, it's an awesome place to be. It's a great work environment. You know, it's chilled out. We've got the TV on with the music. With Taylormade, there's 3-4 of us, so we'll go away on, usually fly on a Sunday night or a Monday morning very early. Get to the event Monday, work all day Monday, all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday, and then we'll fly back Wednesday night. Because come Thursday, when the event started, the players they're not tinkering with their equipment or anything like that. So we're normally away from Monday to Wednesday, except from the long haul events, which we do over the winter, which, like I said, was Oman, Dubai. My colleague did Australia. He was out there for like 2 days and flew back. So we'll go out to the long haul events for a week, and we'll have maybe like a day's golf prior, just to get settled in.
Yeah.
But it's a great atmosphere, and I'm constantly, even now, I feel I've got so much to learn, and I'm always learning.
Yeah.
I'm at home at the minute. I'm doing my TrackMan certificates, level 1 and 2.
Oh, good stuff.
I've just got my KBS certified certificate from them to fit and build. So just constantly learning, mate. Even picking your brains on some of the golf biomechanics side of things, because I've just ordered the book you suggested.
Yeah.
And you know, if you understand the golf biomechanics, down the line you're going to be a better fitter, and then understand the build better as well.
Yeah.
So there's so much more to it than meets the eye, and there's a lot of work put in behind the scenes. But as you know, it all comes with experience. So I've got a lot to learn.
Yeah, and of the people you're working with, I take it the head fitter has got a ton of experience. Good person to be around.
Yeah. So I work with Mark Thistleton, who's been working for Taylormade for, I believe, 12, 13 years now.
Okay.
So, and he's been out on tour, I believe, fitting for like 8, 9 years.
Oh,
and
nice.
then Sam, who is he was the head technician. He's been in the golf industry for 6, 7 years now. He worked at Trixon before as well. Came up in a similar route to me, so it's great to learn from someone like that. And it's amazing how much experience you get just from working on tour for 1 year. It gives you 5 years worth of knowledge. But what I've learned is if you don't know the answer to a question, don't bullshit, because you'll get called out.
I'm usually good at you as well.
Yeah, I'm usually good at that, mate. But you get caught out, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
And
so,
are you finding? Because here's one, and like I haven't actually been on the Taylormade truck. I've been on the Callaway one. I went to Mizuno last year. I've been on the Titleist one. I think there's this notion that people think that the equipment that's actually in the shops is so different to the stuff that you've got on the truck.
Yeah, for sure.
And what would you like? I know, like I was with Mizuno last year, and and the guys, he goes in, and Callaway do the same with the irons. They go in and they weigh the heads and stuff, and they get the weights that they want. Mizuno with the driver, it comes without any hot melt in it. So on the shelf, there's usually a bit of glue basically in there. It basically helps the overall weight, and if there's any like loose debris in there, it takes it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So the tour guys basically get it without that, and they kind of finish it off so they can like balance the club a little bit better. But what have you found with Taylormade?
So you are correct. Like the heads we get are the same as what they get at retail. So there is no major difference, except all of ours have been obviously CT tested to make sure they're legal. Okay. So when our heads arrive from America, they come with the stickers with all the CT test results, so we can see how fast a head is compared to another one. So we can dial that in for any player. But it also comes with head weight. It comes with a hot melt port, which it doesn't at retail.
Okay.
So they'll have just a little hole in the bottom of the head, which we'll hot melt if we need to, and then we just pop a plug in it.
And how often are you hot melting? So if people are watching and they don't know what hot melt is, it's basically glue, isn't it? And you pour it in. It's basically like the external weights that you can see, and a lot of drivers now, it basically gives you a better chance to do that, but internally.
So you're right, it's just a glue, and within 30 seconds it goes from a liquid to pretty firm. So you can pump that into the head, and we can move it around. We can place it in the toe, place it in the heel, to affect, change players' delivery or what they're looking for from that club. But we can also do it for swing weight. I know with the current sim product, a lot of the weight is being placed quite far back to get that up, because it's a very low spinning driver.
Okay.
So if we place, one thing I forgot to mention is that the weights are interchangeable at Tour as well. So the back weight you'd see on your sim, we can unscrew that and put a lighter or a heavier one in.
Okay.
So that's something we've been doing a lot, is placing the heaviest weight back, just to get that launch up, because it's such a low spinning driver.
Okay.
But if you get that launch correct with this driver, because it is so low spinning, mate, it's unbelievable. It's so good.
Well, I hit the max. I hit the max, and it wasn't fitted. It was just one of the other pros basically had one, and I had a whack.
Mm-hmm.
And I was shocked at, like, you know, when you hit one and you're like, I think that looks like it's going a lot further, and then like it didn't land. It just like left the range. Just straight, by the way. People are obviously thinking left and right. No, it went straight. But you're like, you know, I haven't had it on a launch monitor or anything, so I you know, that's just an observation of hitting it. But it does seem like like someone like me that overspins a bit usually, you know.
You might not even need to go into the sim, the normal sim. The sim max might suit you perfectly.
Yeah.
Just still spins low, but it's just a massively more forgiving head. Have you got? Who are you with this year? Or are you free agent?
Free agent.
Are you?
Agent. Yeah.
Oh, nice, mate. So have you got a bag set up at the minute, or?
So I was lucky. I got my Mizuno. I got fit with Mizuno last year. You know, I went to Bearwood Lakes and had it fit. But it was actually, so we had the YouTube Golf Day.
Okay.
I think I saw Rick Shields post. I think it was literally a year ago today.
Yeah.
So a couple of days prior, I went down to Mizuno and I got some new clubs. And
nice.
What I was so impressed with, though, when I, you know, that Tour Pro experience was just how good Alex with Mizuno was just building them. Obviously the heads are good and stuff, but the way he built it, like drill pressed my wedge a little bit, you know, like so drilled a bit of weight out of the hosel so it all like balanced. And I even said to him, I said, look, I'm not going to notice that if you see me swing a wedge. But you know, you could just tell, like he basically gave me a look of like if you're going to come in here, I do it properly. I'm not going to.
It's all these small things, and it's attention to detail. It's something like that he would probably do for every set, but he doesn't think twice about not doing it. Correct. Because it's a precision build. You know, we try and build to, well, we do build to a zero tolerance. So, you know, things like that, a normal guy, I think, thinks you just stick a club head on the end of a shaft and put a grip on it, but there's a lot more to it than that. And we could go on for ages talking about all the different things that go into a build. But it sounds like Alex actually used to work for Taylormade, I believe. So really? He's a very, very good builder and fitter, and he's got tons of knowledge. So he's been out there a while, so it just shows how much experience does pay off.
No, I was super impressed. And like, what was interesting, I took a flash with me. But what I had done, and like this is no reflection on Callaway. I had taken the shaft out of my previous driver, put it in the new head, and then it came out at E10.
Really?
Yeah. So,
wow.
And you know what it's like though when you're swinging a club. You know it's your club, and you get used to it. And I hit 3 in a row. Like I like really did mash them. Like hit some really good shots with this flash. And I said to Alex, I said, I'm not being funny, but I don't think you're going to be able to beat that.
Sure.
And he then he swing weighted it and was like, whoa.
So this is a danger of like people self-fitting with the changeable shafts that we now have. People don't realize that it can make such a big difference in swing weight. You know, E1, that's ridiculous. I'm surprised you're able to move that thing.
Well, look at that.
But it's all about getting correctly fit and by someone that knows exactly what they're doing. It's so easy to buy shafts for eBay and stick them into your driver and think it's going to be better, but you could be making, you know, something that's going to hinder your performance instead of improve it.
No, for sure. And like I've got I got a ping fairway wood. What's it? The G410.
410, is it? Yeah.
LST. That I got that one in the bag at the minute.
Oh, really?
I did a video on it. I used like a mid chord with extra 2 wraps.
Yeah.
And it's crazy what it does to the balance of the club.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and
Definitely.
it's these little things, you know, and like Alex said to me, he's like, look, if you change your grips, you know, if you change from one style of grip to another, you can't expect the shaft and everything to be balanced. You know,
Yeah,
the weight is so different.
Yeah, yeah. Even just a simple grip change. I remember doing it when I was like a junior, when I'd just go into the pro shop and pick the coolest grips off the shelf, and asked to put them on, not even thinking about what it would do to the balance of the club. And an interesting point for you is generally a grip with a colour on it is going to be heavier because of the dye.
Okay.
So if you had a Golf Pride, you know, blackout compared to a Golf Pride black and yellow, black and red, they're going to be heavier. So just because it's the same model, it doesn't mean it's the same weight.
Okay.
So
yeah, I would have never guessed that.
That's some tiny little things, mate. Tiny things. And they do make a big difference. So it's you've got to get them properly fit and properly built, I'd recommend.
Yeah. And a lot of the time, and it's like we do live in an age, and again, it's obviously what's happening now is very strange.
Yeah.
So let's pretend these last few months haven't happened and we were just in normal life.
Yeah.
You know, like if you get clubs from your local pro, they tend to give you a good price now. You know, it's not like you're going to get, oh, I get it from the local pro and he's charged me thousands more, which probably used to happen like 10 years ago.
Sure.
But what this is my opinion, is like if you've just got a new set of clubs, like pay the additional 100 and say, look, can you put it on the swing weight? Can you check the lofts and lines? And
yeah, definitely.
And you can't, you know, and again, I don't sell clubs. So this isn't like directed, doesn't affect me one bit. Like you can't expect your pro to price match you down to what, you know, what the online and all of that's doing.
Yeah, of course.
And then expect them to do that, because it does take a little bit of time. But
it does.
That I'll pay $100, 50 bucks, whatever it might be, and go, look, can you just check the loft slice? One of the interesting things we did at Mizuno is that, again, it's easier there because they built in front of me. But then we hit a few, and like the 4-iron wasn't going far enough, so we bent it a bit to get it into its carry window.
Sure. Yeah,
so if you're getting a new set of clubs, you know, I'm going to do that. You know, I would be
very surprised in, let's say, 4 or 5 years if people are still selling clubs off the rack just standard. Yeah. Because the like importance of custom fitting over the last couple of years has just been pushed so much, and it just shows how important it really is. You know, unless you're a complete beginner just picking up your first set, I wouldn't be doing that at all.
Well, it's getting the you know, I was fortunate because obviously when I was first getting into the business, I hadn't been a pro for very long before I was in there with Crossfield. Who, he has opinions. He does.
Yeah.
but one thing that I remember when I was actually at a country club, I was very like to the point, like, if you don't want it custom fit, I'm not going to sell it to you. Do you know, that was kind of my opinion, where, you know, once we went to the driving range and stuff, you realize that a lot of people just want to buy them.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
So, and they're a new toy.
Yeah.
So,
I think the thing with myself and probably you as well is that where we have access to equipment so often, you forget how hard it is to afford, you know, normally. Because I remember when I was at uni, when I was playing with you, I was playing with rusty old clubs. The faces of my wedges were completely knackered, and I was just using what I could afford because I was a student.
Well, wasn't it you that you had a wedge that the grip was so bad? I literally said, if you don't get that changed, you're not playing. Like, it got that bad.
It was like really, it got so shiny. It was like a tire, and you were like, unless you get that changed, you're not playing next week. and you know, so it is. I do see on the other hand how difficult it is, you know, because it is very expensive and the prices are only going up. But it is important to get fit, because if you're spending that sort of money, like you said, an extra £100 is going to make a big difference. So, but we've got sidetracked, mate. We need to go back to your life for the last 4 or 5 years.
Oh, mate, I've just been living the dream, haven't I?
You're actually married now, right?
Actually married.
Wow, right, I never thought I'd see the day. And you moved out there, you married, and you're teaching pro at the club.
Yeah, so I was lucky. I obviously from the uni.
Yeah,
I got the job with Ledbetter.
Yeah, how did you just apply online, or?
I saw something in the PGA magazine.
Yeah.
I was still doing my masters, and I was still I still actually had an intention. I had a couple of players that I had been. I'm not going to use the word grooming because that's got a negative connotation to it. I had a couple of players that I were like in their second year going into third year, and I had a couple that I'd actually been working with, knowing they were going into their first year. So I was kind of looking. I wasn't necessarily looking to leave.
Sure.
The money was terrible, so so I was, you know, that
not ideal.
Yeah, so you know, it was a case. We did so well the year that you did. You know, you got the trophy in the thirds. The first just missed out, and the twos took the trophy there. So we took 2 of the 3 trophies. Got UK #1. It was like quite clear that, like, unfortunately, uni golf was never gonna get big enough to like pay me what I needed to be paid.
Yeah, of course.
Because it was very much, it was all or nothing. So I was struggling to do outside coaching because I was doing extra hours. My first year at the uni, I reckon for every hour I got paid, I did an hour unpaid.
Really?
Yeah, because I just wanted it to go well, you know. You're passionate about it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I applied, but I literally sent my resume and just I don't think I even wrote a covering letter.
Really?
I just said, look, I'm Steve.
Yeah.
And
just sort of off
they
chance.
wanted the job, actually. Thinking back, they wanted me to start, I think, June 1, and it was like May 31st.
Wow.
So I applied, and I just said, look, just keep me on file if you get anything else.
Yeah, okay.
And anyway, I get the GM calls, and he's, obviously my resume is pretty strong. He's like, look, we haven't had a resume this strong in before.
Sure.
And we actually do have something else. We have something coming, and they were really just transitioning into Ledbetter. So like David's coming over, you'll get this and that, and so I kind of just went over there with I went over there with my golf clubs.
Yeah, because you had your own house in Exeter and everything, didn't you?
Yeah. So it was just literally just left, and went over there the first 3 days. I didn't even have anywhere to stay.
Really?
No.
The phone fell down.
There, I had 2 days in a hotel, and then I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do day 3. And like Bangkok, really easy to find somewhere to live, by the way. So it's not, it wasn't quite as scary as it sounds. But and I tell you what, I was so jet lagged. I went looking at places to stay and live, picked one, and when I went back there, I didn't recognize it. I was so jet lagged trying to pick this.
That's crazy.
Flat. But then, I was lucky. I met Megan over there.
Oh, in at the
Yeah,
Leadbetter place.
yeah.
Oh, right. Was she teaching there as well?
No, she was just traveling through. She
Oh, cool.
she was working with a young kid that she works with over here, and
Yeah.
literally having a bit of coaching, but a bit of a holiday. And
Ah,
then
right.
so when I come over to the PGA show here and went over to Leadbetter HQ and met
Yeah.
the director of golf here.
Okay.
They have a massive fitness department.
Mm.
And they have like the ranges and the court. It's just a beautiful place. I'm really fortunate.
Level, yeah.
But they had the K motion, and they were really trying to push a way for the golf instruction to interact better with fitness.
Okay, yeah.
And we've got the most TPI instructors of anywhere in the world, I think. You know, we're like fully all in on TPI. And yeah, again, it didn't look like there was going to be something opening, and I was very fortunate that the director of golf saw my resume and was like, "Look, I'm going to try and grab him before anyone else does." So,
yeah.
So
how long were you at Leadbetter then? 2 years, was it?
No, not as long. So I did 9 months.
Okay.
And then I got the job here.
Oh, right.
And then I would have stayed and gone from there to the States, but I was running out of time to finish my thesis for my master's.
Yeah,
I had to get it done by December.
Yeah.
So I'd once I got the job here, I actually went home and I worked on my master's pretty much full time for that summer just to get it done.
Okay. Wow. And then you moved over to the US and sort of pursued things with Megan, did you?
Pursued things with Megan.
So you moved out there with her, or you just got your own place and?
No, I moved straight in with her.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow, she's a brave lady to put up with the buzz now.
She's not as quiet. She's not as quiet as she looks though when she's in the videos. She's the boss. She's the boss, 100%.
That I'm enjoying the videos, mate. The little series you did of the playing series was really cool.
Which was that?
You know, you would like filming or Megan was filming your playing rounds.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Because there's a guy, Carl Phillips, on YouTube who his old man films all his competitive rounds. Yeah, it's quite cool because it's really raw, unedited.
Yeah. I've actually that's cool. You like that? I've got one. I played Sawgrass, and Megan filmed all of that. So I had the footage. I just never got around to getting it out.
Was that a competitive round? Was it or
that was just me playing?
Okay.
And then the issue I have with the playing ones. So I did the 2 playing in this South Florida mini tour.
Yeah.
The mini tours are so competitive.
Sure.
And it's a great filming opportunity.
Yeah.
You can't be pounding in money.
No.
To do it. I did it that one time. And it was quite interesting, like, because I did play terribly the first day. You know, and I think it's easy to slag people off, but you're like, you know, I was willing to put it up, and then I actually did a bit better the second day. You could
easily not put it up, and no one would have ever known.
Yeah, you know, I've always been like with YouTube, like if you're ever going to do anything, you're going to get people putting negative stuff out there.
Yeah, of course.
You know, they're not the guys grafting. Like your situation you're in, you know, I bet there's people saying, "Hang on a minute, I've been doing this for years." And It's actually putting the grind in, and it's like
definitely, mate.
Like I said earlier, nobody really cares who you are.
No.
You've got to go out and try and do it, and too many people get upset when they don't do it, and then they write mean comments online.
Yeah.
And do that.
No one likes a troll, mate.
No.
I got to a point, I don't know if it's similar with you, but when I came back from my travelling, I tried to play again for a bit, and I was entering these sort of men's opens, 36-hole events. They cost like £100, and you're playing all day, and I just started to find it tedious, mate, because I was getting paired with people that were trying to take it too serious. They wouldn't chat to you. It wasn't a very nice atmosphere. And I got to the end of it, mate, of that summer of playing golf, and I was thinking, this isn't that enjoyable anymore, because, you know, you're playing like county events and people are taking it so seriously they won't even talk to you on the fairways.
Yeah, I think I experienced exactly what you experienced when I finished college or finished uni. I had that year in like amateur golf. I just kind of outgrown it, and it wasn't go. It was like I need to go play national events, and I wasn't. You know, I couldn't justify the money. It wasn't really going anywhere, and I was fortunate that I wasn't 100% sure of actually joining the PGA. And then I was like, you know what? I just did it because basically, if you try to coach without it, especially in England, I think it would just be held against you. You know, not having it would be a bigger issue than all of the other stuff that I did have. But that allowed me to play different events. And I think sometimes that's when it gets tedious as well with the amateur golf. You end up playing the same events you've played since you were like 13, 14. So it's like having just having a different experience. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, it got to the point where I more or less just play social golf now because it's, you know, you spend £100 to play with someone for a day that won't speak to you, you know, and it's not that enjoyable.
That might not be the golf though, mate.
So I got to my ambition.
Talk to the other two people in the group.
Yeah, that's it. But my ambition was always to get to scratch, and I got to point 0.5, so almost so close. And after that, I chased it for so long. I was just getting too worried about handicap and too upset when it went up 0.1, and it just didn't become enjoyable. So I got to a point like you where I was very, very close to turning pro. So you just, you know, handicap's now irrelevant. It's all about playing events and trying to finish as high up at the leaderboard as you can. But that goes back to the point of you're not going to make a living from that. So
and we had, and that's a conversation for a different day. But like JCF, if you remember Joe was a +3 handicap. You know, and because it's been his boyhood dream to get down to scratch, it became such a wall. Yeah. And he had it was like 6 months, and I'm like, it does show you that scratch is just, I was going to say a number. It's not a number, is it? 0.
Well, 0, yeah.
I suppose that's a number, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's you can go the other side, and I think as kids you don't think about the other side.
No.
And it becomes like the Holy Grail, and it.
So we've got. I think you've already got it, but we've actually got a new system coming in over here, handicapping system.
Yeah, ours has already come in. We were already playing it.
So I'm going to be very interested to see how that whether that makes it a bit more enjoyable, if you know what I mean. Whether it's going to take the pressure off a little bit from those bad rounds, because
it's like it's already in the States, because obviously I've seen both systems, like USGA and RNA. This new system is far, far similar to the USGA, and they've taken a couple of the good bits from the RNA.
Sure.
The old USGA system didn't factor in, like, if it was bad weather, like the index wouldn't change. So they tried to factor in a few things like this, but far more fluid. Yeah, so absolutely. You have a good 10 rounds or whatever it is, 8 rounds.
Yeah, I think
they changed it a little. You'll see fluctuation, and it will be far more represented.
Exactly.
Represent far more. But
that's good.
Lovely chatting. I got to go out in coach again.
Yeah. No worries, buddy. Good to speak to you.
No, great chatting, and that's really interesting, and what you've been able to do since uni, and more importantly, and I think the big take home is, you know, you worked hard for it, you know, and I think sometimes people look at you and you do talk a lot, and sometimes it's a little bit of a barrier. Yeah. You know, whereas behind the scenes, you know, you work hard, and if you work hard, you tend to get opportunities. And
absolutely,
you
mate.
know, really pleased for you, mate. And I hope you're back out on that truck soon.
Yeah, fingers crossed, buddy.
Yeah, but we'll do
care,
this
mate.
again. We got other things. We got other things to talk about.
Yeah, we have. Cheers, pal.
Awesome stuff, man. Great catching up. And when I'm back in England next time, we will get out on the course.
Yeah, I look forward to it, mate.
Cheers,
Nice one.